Hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is the market radar for April 29th, Tuesday, April 29th. The market ended today. We're going to get right into it. It's going to be short and quick. We left off on Friday, putting out a HPS watch list and talking about the markets and expecting a little further downside going into the beginning of the week, and then looking for kind of a reversal or possible reversal on Tuesday. It's always hard to pinpoint the exact time and place, but you know what I was seeing on Monday, or actually on Friday, looking for a little bit more follow through. So we did have an early pop in the market. It happened right at 9:50. It was actually a great setup. We had a great time frame, the 9:50, and we also had a we call it tradometer set up here. From that point on, we had a very nice push, and we ran out of steam. 10:30 ran out of steam. We started rolling back over. And when we started rolling over, we started actually picking up the pace on the rollover here. Once we broke down into the 20 and 50 period moving average, we stayed there and we started developing this, a pretty aggressive bearish trend. Pretty tight, no real big bounces. We actually blew through a couple of important lines. There was an upward trend line here. Whenever you break through a trend line, which is established by two pivot areas, this one line, I'm going to make it a different color so you can see it. Let's make it light blue. And you can see this went out to this point here, and we had this little drop down here. So we had to establish pretty decent two major pivot areas. So we watched that. But because we flushed right through it, it's still an active line, but you could tell there was volume picking up here in the market. And usually when there's something bothering the market, we get a little selling here. You blow through an interesting trend line like this, it's still going to be active. We actually ended up trading back again, the blue one we're looking at. We traded back up to it, and that's a trend line retracement. Failed it, banged up against it a couple times, and then and this is something I always see. You push up against it, you test it a few times, and then you roll over. And the rollover here really timed with this downward channel line, which is really tight from the top here into this pivot area. And this is exactly a perfect place to roll over. Bearish flag, and we rolled over, and again came down to some support levels. We didn't even, really have a good bounce. The only time it really started looking interesting was a huge underlying trend line down here. I like these downward channel lines. I like them better than the upward trend lines. I am a downward channel type of bouncer, bounce trader, and this was one of those key levels, and right off of FT71 level 2. But we kind of broke down through that level, came right down to that trend line, and we actually, this whole area was a tradometer setup. But what was even better that we're able to identify right away was a lane divergence. Because the lane divergence worked out so good on Friday at the bottom, very similar pattern, underlying trend line, the low, the pop higher, the breakdown, but the higher low on the stochastics here on the 1443 stochastic setting here. This was what we call lane divergence. So it had all these things going for it right here. And from that point on, we had a bigger than average move in the market. So we had that same exact setup here, and we were able to identify it while it was happening, point it out while it was happening, and actually take the trade off of it, off of this level. Because we're looking, I think we were off at this level, and then we actually looked for a pullback, and got a nice little pullback there. And that actually moved up to where we expected it to move, the 200 period moving average, and we consolidated there. Market came in with more strength, and then fired up to the next level, which was, of course, the 64.5 level, which has been key. And from that point on, well, we kind of the market ran out of time, and that's where we left off. So this is all shows up on the bigger picture. If we take a look at the big picture now, this is the S&P cash chart, and we're going to start off with the daily. The daily going into today, we're looking for some more downside, just because we had the size of the day on Friday, and the possibility of that breakdown. And we actually did we had a pop up higher, then we rolled over, took out the lows, and then at the end of the day, we rallied hard, and we left this candle hanging out here. A decent tail, something that hung down here, got oversold, and then rebounded and actually gave us a nice little tail. And I look for those as reversal, especially in a pullback. And the 60-minute time frame, well, that was again underlying trend line on the 5-minute. It was really the area. That was really the key area. There was a great pivot area here, pivot area, and right here. So understanding that 5-minute, 15-minute, multiple time frame entry, all lined up there. We had a decent rally. We actually had that crossover here on the 60. So the 60 crossed over. The 5 minute was set up. The futures had a lane diverge. Everything here, pointed to a pop at the end of the day, and we did get that pop at the end of the day. Leaves us off in a position where, well, we have a lot of stocks that are showing reversals. And that's the one thing I want to notice. Tuesday's been very bullish with the market, and I can tell you, all my feeds and all the feelers I have out on the market, a lot of people are already talking about a turnaround Tuesday, and that's a negative. I mean, come on. I hate when people start talking about things, but it is what it is. I mean, you got to go with that turnaround Tuesday. If it's been always on top, we've been talking about it. I don't like talking about something and talking about it and waiting for it, because then it kind of flukes it up. But we have that 60-minute time frame. We had a decent bounce. We have a lot of stocks that are going to give us some follow-through tomorrow, and we'll go into those for a second. And the daily looks okay. And the key thing on the daily here is that the daily stochastic stayed embedded here. We didn't roll over. We had some serious selling today. We actually sold off pretty far. We didn't even budge on the daily stochastics, which is key when you start to embed itself underneath that extreme level. Underneath 80, I always say you embed between 60 and 80. 70 is even better, 70 and 80. You start to flatten out there. There's usually one last push to get us back up to that next level. And, that's what it looks like we're setting up for tomorrow. So, got to go with the upside bias tomorrow. Got to go with it just based off that daily. Believe it, I'm basing this more off the daily than on the hourly. The hourly can continue to chop around down here. The daily is showing me something. Of course, the 5 minute at the end of the day is extended. So, not to say that it might be, we always talk about that first half an hour. That first half an hour, we might get another 950 reversal. Because a nice little pullback into this candle could rotate us back down here. We'll see what happens at about 950. If the stochastics pull back, we get another nice little setup on some of the indicators, and we might actually go for that trade. But that will be, we have to see what happens tomorrow. We'll definitely cover that tomorrow and cover that live as I normally do. So I'm actually looking forward to that. We traded the U-Pro today. We traded the TNA, thanks to True Falcon, bring that to my attention, and we did good on that. The Disney scalp, well, some of the scalps didn't work out. It was very, the market actually sold off pretty good. It was showing some serious weakness. And I was a little frustrated today for a Monday. I was a little frustrating. I think at the end of the day, we started getting in tune with the market a little bit better. Lane divergence was really a key confidence builder for me, and when I see that start to play out and work out, I'm just going to be looking for that in the future. Disney continues to look great. Now we're going to take just a little bonus section and take a look at some candles that are setting up for tomorrow. These are my 3 setups. I kind of tweeted these out today, AMG, and you can follow that tweet on Twitter, of course, on Day Trading Radio. Amgen, beautiful candle on Amgen. Nice pullback. It's a nice channel, but this beautiful candle and a coiled up stochastic. So this actually looks great for tomorrow. So this is, we actually holding a little 50 shares of Amgen into tomorrow. It's called my candlestick trade. It was a scalp. I decided to hold it as a candlestick swing. Whenever we have a big candle, I see right now as I'm talking here, Herbalife coming out. So Herbalife, I don't see any news out on it yet, but it is chopping around. It looks like it's heading... Looks like it's chopping around 59. Looks like it's chopping around 59 and change. Starting to move higher now. Herbalife on the move higher now. Back to the other markets here. And again, that's live right there. So, again, Amgen coiled up. One of the best bets for tomorrow. Another great candle. It's got to be Workday. Believe it or not, waiting all day for Workday. Workday put in a decent candle, getting oversold. This is kind of a flat line, little push, rebound, and then off to the races. So looking for Workday to get some follow through. Intrepid Potash. No, cancel that. International Paper. Took out the lows of the session, closed at the highs, and decent volume. Right up against the 50-period moving average. Expecting this to break through this and get a rally going. This stock has been giving us really great candles. I circle most of the big candles. Here was a nice outside day. Here was a little inside day, not much. Here was another possible outside day. I have to look deeper into that, but it was a good one. Here, a big candlestick. This one gives really good candlesticks. And here's another nice candle reversal here. Here we have an outside day. It's not a pullback play. It does have a 4-day pullback, 3-day pullback. Stochastics look very bullish, as we didn't get into extreme levels yet. I see this having some more follow through. So we talked about that all day. I tweeted these out. So if you took position in them, look to follow tomorrow morning. We'll be covering them real closely. So the Intrepid Potash, Amgen, Workday, and then the last one, Lululemon. Decent candle, just flush through the support, and again, it's something I expected. He expected a little support flush before we close back higher. So again, I think we did the right thing of scaling in a little. I only picked up 20 shares today just to kind of add to my 30, and now with the seeing the reversal tomorrow, we have a great shot of following through here. We're going to be in the money very quickly on this one. And, Visa's out there. It held up pretty good strength. This might be a situation where we have that gap down due to earnings and then that just grind back up, candle by candle by candle. Just continue to close that gap. So something I also want to watch. So bias to the upside tomorrow. We're going to give it a 2-arrow up day. Because of the Tuesday, because of the daily stochastics, because of some underlying charts that are showing some very good reversals. And that's where we're going to leave it off. I hope you got some use out of this update. It's a little longer than normal. Normally I want to keep these under 5 minutes. It's 11 minutes now, but I think you got some value out of it. I'm DayTraderRockStar, and you can tune in each day. I broadcast each day live, 8:30 to 4 o'clock, and sometimes longer. And we trade the markets live. DayTradingRadio.com. See you then.